What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of GBA. In this video, we're going to be doing another installment of my Sega Saturn series, which is basically just a collecting journey video series, and it's for the Sega Saturn. So, quick backstory, bought a Poly Mega, got really into collecting for the Sega Saturn. I didn't have very many games for it to start out with, so over time I have amassed a much larger collection, and I just wanted to put it in video form. So I must say at the beginning of this video, this is not a review of these games. It's just kind of like a quick first impression, show you some gameplay, say a couple words about the games, and just move on. I'll save the games I would recommend most for the end of the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started on this Sega Saturn series video. So first up, we have Worldwide Soccer. It's a soccer game. It's not a bad soccer game, it's not a great soccer game, it is just a soccer game. I won't show any footage because I'm sure you guys probably know what early soccer games look like. But nonetheless, still happy to add Worldwide Soccer to the collection. Alright, so next up, this game was a little bit disappointing. We have Hang On GP. I love racing games. I really like motorcycle racing games. But this one is very, very hard to control. I think visually this game looks pretty good. The draw-in distance is nice. The backgrounds are kind of nice. It looks good, but the game just does not play very good. It doesn't really have analog support, so it feels very jerky when you're trying to steer the motorcycle. I don't really like it. I probably would add it to the collection just for the visuals, but it's just not a very good game, but like I said, I'm still happy to have it, so Hang On GP, not necessarily a winner, but not a complete loser either. Alright, so next up we have Andretti Racing, which I could not find good artwork for, so I kind of just piecemealed something together. Andretti Racing is, another racing game, IndyCar, Formula 1 style. This game is better than Hang On GP, but not by a whole lot. The controls are still a little rough in this game. The visuals are not that good. The draw-in distance is not that good. But nonetheless, it is a pretty fun racing game. You'll have some fun with it for short spurts, but it's not the best racing game on the Saturn by far. So yeah, Andretti Racing, happy to add it, but not something I'll play a ton. Alright, so next up we have two games that are very, very popular for collecting for the Saturn, and it's stuff that you should own if you're collecting for the system. We have Virtua Fighter. So Virtua Fighter was the game that made me want a Saturn when I was a teenager. I remember playing it at a kiosk in Toys R Us. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that the Saturn had going for it, is playing these cool Sega arcade games at home. Virtua Fighter is kind of a shallow game, though, to be honest with you. I think visually it looks pretty good for, very, very, very early 3D fighting game, but better games would come to follow. But yeah, this is definitely a game that you have to have in your collection. Speaking of, we have Virtua Fighter 2. So basically, this is Virtua Fighter, just vastly improved. More characters, better backgrounds, more polygon counts. It's just a better looking game and a better playing game. These are not my favorite fighting games in the world. They appear to be kind of shallow when you first start playing them, but supposedly they're extremely deep. I just haven't really jumped into them much, but this one's definitely better than the first one, and it's just another one of those games that you have to have in your Saturn collection. Alright, so these last two games are the games I would recommend the most for this video at least. But we have Pandemonium. So Pandemonium is a very interesting 2.5D platformer. Very, very early 2.5D platformer. The controls are a little bit wonky, but the game looks good. It's very imaginative and it's fun to play. It's definitely shows its age, but it's a game that I had pretty much a good time with. Sometimes you get stuck and it's hard to jump. It's hard to get on platforms and stuff like that, but it's not a bad game, and I would highly recommend this if you're collecting for the system. I think you can also play this on PlayStation 1 if I remember correctly. So last up, this is another game in a series of games that we've talked about in this video. We have Virtua Fighter Kids. So honestly, this one unfortunately has some Sharpie on it, but it still plays fine. This game is my favorite game of the Virtua Fighter games on the Sega Saturn. This game looks great. The visuals are really, really good, especially if you like that chibi style. I don't know, the facial expressions the fighters make are hilarious. You can knock articles of like clothing off each other. It's a really, really fun game. The backgrounds are stunning in this game. This is the game that I would play most out of the Virtua Fighter series. It still plays a lot like Virtua Fighter 2, but it just looks really good in my opinion. And I just like the art style and the visuals of the game. So this is definitely the game I would recommend most out of this video. And it's not an overly expensive game either, but Virtua Fighter Kids is definitely a winner, at least to me. And I'm sure you guys see the gameplay and you can make up your own mind. All those games are played on the Polymega in 1080p, and they all look fantastic. Didn't have no issues with compatibility this time, so that's great. So yeah, my Sega Saturn collection has now went over 60 titles, if I remember correctly. So yeah, this has been a fun journey. I hope you guys enjoy coming along with me. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this video. Which one of these games is your favorite? Do you own any of these? Are you seeking them out? I would love to have a little conversation with you guys about the Sega Saturn. But for now, that's probably going to do it. I want to say thank you, though. I appreciate you guys. If you know anybody who might like this kind of video, share it around. But for now, I'm going to go open up some more boxes, maybe play some video games, try to enjoy the rest of my evening. Hope you do too. So until next time, everyone, I'll see you later.